KVAQ-TV is brought to you in part by the Student Union Department. Get ready, Bronzeville! The energy and rhythm of Cumbia Fest is coming your way. From 7 to 10 p.m., April 9th, join the Student Union on the lawn of the Bronzeville campus for a night of live music and performances. Expect a tribute for the Queen of Tex-Mex, food, and games. More information is available at the Student Union page on VLink.
Coming up, for the first time ever, 3 executive tickets will be in the ballot for the SGA elections next week. What the candidates are proposing.
And April is Sexual Awareness Month. Campus resources in minutes.
Plus, the UTRGV Baseball head coach recorded his 200th victory. More on that story later in the newscast.
KVAQ-TV starts now.
Good morning, Vaqueros. After the severe weather this past weekend, we hoped every student was able to get home safely. My name is Victor Ortega.
And I am Jasmine Espinosa. This is the 10th spring edition of KVAQ-TV.
Today is Monday, March 31st.
At the top of the newscast. The Student Government Association elections for the 2025-2026 academic year takes place next week. Candidates for executive and senate positions visited both campuses in search for student support. Victor, what's special about this year's election?
Well, Jasmine, for the first time in UTRGV history, the executive officer positions are being contested by 3 different parties. Last week, executive candidates for all 3 parties and senators made their way to the Bronzeville campus's courtyard to meet with students and share their vision. KVAQ-TV spoke with the presidential candidates to learn more about them and why the student population should support them.
So the Student Government Association serves as the official representative of the student body here at UTRGV.
The SGA aims to help students by advocating on issues that may arise within the community and by giving them a voice in university matters. In this upcoming term, 3 executive teams are running for the president and vice president positions. Presidential candidate of the Together We Achieve team, Orlando Dylan Alvarado Jr., shares what his team stands for.
I want to run for president to advocate for the student body, to advocate for student needs. Our ticket is very dedicated to student involvement and student life and advocating for a better campus environment.
Alvarado comments that his past experience working in the SGA as director of first-year internship program makes him a good presidential choice.
So as president, I'd bring to the table some very valuable experience. I've been with student government before, so I know how the Student Government Association works and communicating with higher administration.
The presidential candidate and founder of Team Victoriam, Juan Espinosa, says his team has helped students form their own events.
I founded a club that helps students form their own on-campus events through funding from myself.
Espinosa shares that his work as a tutor has allowed him to help his fellow vaqueros on different levels.
I even worked alongside the Writing Center as a tutor, helping educate students in and outside the classroom. So I've not only helped students academically, emotionally, but I've also supported them and guided them through their journey and experience as a college student.
Vaqueros Forward's presidential candidate is Andrea Gaitan, who is a current senator at large for Edinburgh.
I started off as an intern, went on to senator for College of Business, and then senator at large. So I know what it takes to actually represent a campus, to actually make these changes through administration.
Gaitan advocates for a bigger push of Bronzeville campus representation within the SGA.
We wanted to bring forth a new era for students, new changes that maybe we haven't seen before for both campuses, because both are important equally, especially here being in the Bronzeville campus. We are really stretching. We need more Bronzeville representation within student body.
Associate Dean of Students for Student Involvement, Delmo Olivares, explains how vaqueros can vote in the upcoming elections.
Going to be April 7th through the 10th. The ballot will be sent to their email, and we do send out reminders on a daily basis. So they should receive a couple of emails, at least, to remind them to go out and vote.
Election results are expected to be available a day after the elections end, on Friday, April 11th. For KVAQ-TV in Bronzeville, Victor Ortega.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and UTRGV offers resources on campus for students. Jasmine, can you tell us more?
KVAQ-TV spoke with the Office for Advocacy and Violent Prevention Director Cynthia Jones to learn about the different resources the center offers and how students can seek support.
We can help people even if what they've experienced isn't recent. It is frequently the case that individuals experience trauma and then days, months, often years later, something will trigger it. a sound. Interestingly enough, smells are very triggering to certain people. Seeing an individual you haven't seen in a long time.
Jones says the OAVP office can refer students to the Safe Haven Forensic Examiner Center Unit, Doctors Hospital, or Texas Forensic Nurse Examiner for examination free of charge.
It's a service to document and record and collect evidence, either from a sexual assault or any kind of interpersonal violence. And you don't have to press charges or to move forward. I mean, you don't have to. It's a collection of evidence.
Jones says the office helps students relocate to other universities and make schedule changes so individuals do not have to be in proximity to the person who committed the abuse. Basic necessities and household items such as blankets, pillows, toothpaste, and towels are provided. According to Jones, 92% of the women in college experience sexual assault by someone that they know. However, OAVP makes a report with minimal detail.
Like the counseling center and the student health, we do report to the university, but we don't report anyone's name or any details of the situation. We just report that we saw 3 people within the week who reported sexual assault.
Of the 250 to 300 people who visit the OAVP office, some experience a type of trauma, such as domestic abuse, sexual assault, dating violence, family violence, stalking, and sexual harassment. Jones explains the office helps with counseling. However, individuals have to make a report to the university police.
We are not part of the university's investigative process. We don't investigate. So telling us that you experienced something isn't reporting it to the university necessarily. We can help you to report it if you want it investigated by campus police, by local law enforcement, or by the Title IX office.
Assistant Chief of Police Esmeralda Guerra explains why it is important for the victim to come forward with their statement.
We really need to encourage the person, the victim, okay, the survivor, that it's important for us to investigate, and we really need to speak to that person so we can get the details, find out who was involved, and be able to move forward, one, from stopping this individual, the perpetrator, from it happening again to anyone else, and also providing assistance to the victim, the survivor, because we call them victim survivors, be able to provide the services that that person needs to be able to heal emotionally and physically and whatever else they need through our community resources.
UTRGV Integrated Health Science Junior Laura Balboa says blaming the individual who experienced sexual assault is seen as normal. But by raising awareness, we are starting the conversation.
It's quite normal to blame the victim. There's not really a lot of information. It's normally seen as hush-hush due to the culture about keeping it to yourself due to the shamefulness. But by making it the awareness month, I guess we're changing that opinion.
For more information, visit the Office for Advocacy and Violent Prevention website and contact the University Police Department. For KVAQ-TV in Brownsville, Jasmine Espinosa.
Spring not only brings in blooming flowers or trees, but spreads allergens throughout the breeze. A Brownsville meteorologist explains how the weather impacts the spread of allergens through the season.
Pollen, dust, and mold are a few of many allergens that spread quickly to individuals during the spring, depending on the weather. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention states symptoms can vary from a runny nose, sneezing, red or itchy eyes, and even a potential asthma attack if individuals do not take precautions. Warden Coordination Meteorologist Barry Goldsmith says because of the cold weather at the beginning of the year, it stopped plants from growing, producing a sudden increase of plant growth after February during warm conditions.
We had a warm time in December and early January, then it got cold and a lot of the grasses were basically dormant from late January all the way into the end of February before we brought back warmer and more humid air consistently. And if you're allergic to grass and it's turning green again, then those pollens are going to be out there.
Goldsmith advises individuals to clean their houses to avoid mold spores during wet and humid conditions. He recommends replacing air filters to prevent dust from infecting the air quality. Goldsmith also advises individuals to keep up with a weather forecast app to check areas that mark high levels of pollen and consult with an allergist to identify any potential particles patients can be affected by.
And now in sports, Both UTRGV basketball team seasons may have ended, but the players are continuing to earn recognition, while the Vaquero tennis teams are off to a hot start in conference play. This and more in KVAQ Sports with Desiree Villanueva.
Thank you, Victor. UTRGV's men's and women's basketball season has come to an end, but student athletes are still receiving recognition. The UTRGV Department of Intercollegiate Athletics announced earlier this week that men's basketball senior forward Quo Agua and redshirt sophomore forward Marshall Deschamaux have earned spots in the College Sports Communicators Academic All-District team. Both athletes played in 30 season games, where Agua averaged 6.2 points and 4.3 rebounds per game. Deschamaux averaged 4.1 points and 3.8 rebounds per game. As for women's basketball, the Vaqueros battled it out in the first round of the Southland Conference Tournament against the number 7 Nichols Colonels, coming up short in the 55-53 game. UTRGV announced that junior forward Charlotte O'Keefe, graduate students Kate Hackerott and Chanel Michelle, and sophomore guard Madison Hun have all been selected for the College Sports Communicators Academic All-District team. UTRGV's men's and women's tennis is off to a great start in the South Conference play. The Vaqueros kicked off their Southland Conference season March 22nd with a 5-2 victory over the New Orleans Privateers. The team also saw sophomore Ivo Izquierdo named the Southland Conference Men's Tennis Player of the Week last Tuesday. In another Southland matchup, UTRGV's women's tennis team took down the Nichols Colonels with a dominant 6-1 victory in Louisiana. UTRGV's baseball win against Houston Christian was head coach Derek Matlock's 200 victory. In his 8th season with UTRGV, Matlock has gained a 200-163 overall record. In other baseball news, the team hosted its 956 night on March 22nd. According to UTRGV Athletics, the game brought in the second largest crowd in program history, with 6,324 fans packing the stands. Matlock speaks on how the Valley support brings high energy to the games.
But what a freaking crowd. What a great job by the frickin' Valley coming here and helping us right when we needed a big win to stay up there in the first place spot. The Valley come in and did it for us, man. What a thankful thing for us to have a great crowd and a great frickin' momentum.
That's all for this week's Sportscast. I'm Desiree Villanueva. Back to you, Jasmine.
Hey, Victor, what do you call cheese that isn't yours?
What?
Nacho cheese. Although laughter can't cure a disease, a therapist at UTRGV said it can be the best medicine for one's mental health.
According to the Mayo Clinic, laughing and smiling provide benefits for the body such as stimulating organs and relieving pain. Licensed professional counselor Carmen Villegas explains how laughing reduces stress hormones known as cortisol, and if increased, it can lead to high levels of anxiety or depression.
We have endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, a list of feel-good hormones. And cortisol is just one of the main ones of like that kind of is associated with the stress response. Laughter has a lot of great short-term benefits. Not only does it engage you in your mental health, it also impacts your physical health, right? Physical and your mental well-being. And so one of the main parts of laughter is that it's stress relieving.
She also advises students to partake in campus activities when offered to relieve stress and spend time taking care of your body. The Counseling Center will be hosting the Mind and Body Reset, a wellness fair from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. April 3rd in the Music Science and Learning Center building on the Brownsville campus. The Spring Into Wellness event will take place from 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. April 4th in the Ballroom Lawn on the Edinburgh campus, a great opportunity to reduce some stress.
Last Thursday, we had rain, thunder, tornado warnings, and floodings. Students took to social media to document the experience. On screen, you can see some footage captured by KVAQ-TV staff trying to get home. I boarded the delayed shuttle to Brownsville at 6 p.m. We were stuck at the Edinburgh to Harlingen connector for 3 hours. The following are a series of photos of the aftermath taken by Visual Communications Design Senior Rebecca Santos at 11 a.m. Friday the 28th on the Edinburgh campus.
For those unsure on what to do in a situation like this, call campus police if you need help reaching your vehicle or leaving campus. You can call campus PD at 882-777 For update shuttle services, follow Parking and Transportation on X at UTRGV_PTS. As always, be on the lookout for your UTRGV email for campus closure and updates.
Stay safe and thank you for joining us, Vaqueros.
Watch us on VCast monitors and social media.
I am Victor Ortega.
And I am Jasmine Espinosa.
And this is KVAQ-TV.
Your campus,
your news.